ResortLoop.com is proud to be sponsored by Joffrey's Coffee and Tea Company. Joffrey's now offers coffee subscriptions. You can order a 3, 6, or 12-month subscription. You can choose from 3 collections, the Flavored Coffee Collection, the Roastmasters Collection, or the Disney Signature Coffee Collection. Each collection includes 3 bags per month. With the Joffrey's Coffee subscriptions, never run out of great coffee again. Learn more and order at Joffreys.com.
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
The body of water that you see to the right of our forward motion is the Seven Seas Lagoon. The Seven Seas Lagoon is a man-made creation that took 3 years and the removal of millions of cubic yards of earth to complete.
Hey everybody, thanks for joining us. I'm Tim Scott. This is ResortLoop.com, the gateway to the magic. I'm super excited about this show. For those of you in Looper Nation on Facebook, and if you're not there, why aren't you? Look us up. Calvin Connor set a post up saying, basically, here's a trip report. I was only down there for 2 days. Tim doesn't want to do a show with me. Is that about what you said, Calvin? Am I paraphrasing a little too much?
That's pretty close to what I said. I didn't ask you before this, so I didn't know going into it what the response would be.
I know. I'm just having fun with you. But you sounds like you had a great time. It was a short trip. But before I get to you having you talk about your trip, tell us your Disney backstory. How long have you been a fan? When did you first go? That kind of thing. Yeah,
so I've been going to Disney World specifically since I was, I don't even remember, 2 or 3 years old. My parents have been taking me a long time. As I got older, I still went with my parents, and then as time went on, I started to go by myself. A few years back, we did a show about getting engaged at Disney.
Mm-hmm.
Last year, we also did a show about doing a resort-only stay, which I did again this year. But yeah, I've been going ever since I was very young, and I love the parks. Well, at least Disney World and Disneyland that I can speak of, but both fantastic. So I've been a fan for a long time.
And before we report, would you recommend a resort-only stay? Let's just touch on that again real quick.
Now that depending on where you're staying, absolutely.
Number 1 hotel if you're going to do a resort-only.
You got to stay with the Animal Kingdom Lodge.
Oh, you're a good man. You're so wise.
Yeah, well, at Animal Kingdom Lodge, you just have the savannah there. You could sit back and relax, not do anything, and still have a vacation.
Right. Sometimes you just need the relaxing vacation.
Yeah.
Not the go vacation. All right, Calvin. So tell us about your trip. How'd you decide to go? How'd all this come about?
All right. So like I said earlier, I got married earlier this year, or maybe I didn't say that, but I got engaged at Disney World in 2018, and I got married in 2020. So we were actually planning on doing a cruise, not a Disney cruise, for our honeymoon. And what ended up happening was, cruises all got canceled due to COVID. And we had booked end our stay at Disney, so we were going to do a beach club trip the night before, or coming back from the cruise the night before the cruise, we were going to do Animal Kingdom Lodge. And that obviously didn't happen, and I wasn't going to stay with a stay, a week apart from each other. I would have had to find a room in between. So we decided to move it to September since I have an October use year, and still use up those points. So we decided that it'd be a good use of our points to stay in a 1-bedroom instead of a studio for one time. Since we only have 75 points.
Mm-hmm.
So we did a weekend stay to use up all of our points for the year.
It was well planned out. It sounds like.
Oh, absolutely. Well, what was great though is coronavirus has had some positive effects in that this room was actually available 3 months to move it. So. Some good things came out of it.
I've heard of this. Probably one of the good things to come out of the current situation is for DVC availability.
Oh yeah, it's wonderful.
Everyone's getting used to it. Hopefully, it'd be nice if that lasted a little bit longer, but not under these circumstances.
It'd definitely be nice if it stayed like this. It's definitely good to plan a trip. In 3 months.
So what'd you do as soon as you got there? What was your plan? What happened?
All right, so we got to the resort and. We parked outside, get our luggage inside, and, the bell services man came up to us. Very nice.
Mm-hmm.
And asked if he could take our bags for us, as you would expect at a nice resort. And we said, no, we'll take care of them ourselves. And he's like, are you sure? And then I was like, all right, fine. If you're going to ask to take them, go ahead. So he took our bags for us, and we went to go check in at the front desk. When we were at the front desk, somebody else walked up to us and said, oh, did you do your online check-in? I was like, absolutely, I did my online check-in. They're like, all right, you don't have to stand here. You can either go to your room. If it's not ready, come back later. I said, wonderful. So then we were just walking around, and I always like the buttons that the DVC desks hand out. Like member sense kind of buttons. But I know that they usually have like just married ones or, like those kind of special ones. So I asked them, you got one of them special celebrating pins or buttons? And they said, absolutely. So they went and got me one. And then they're like, do you want to tour a 3-bedroom grand villa? I was like, absolutely. How could I not do a 3-bedroom grand villa?
Why wouldn't I want to do this?
Yeah, exactly. So we actually went up to a couple floors. I don't remember what room number it was, but you can always find them. If you're a DVC member, you can go to the website and find out which rooms are offering room tours, or you can obviously just stop at the front desk and ask them where to go. And then you go up to the 3-bedroom grand villa, and it was like the most amazing thing I've ever seen. Like,
really? Oh.
Probably bigger than my house. And it was overlooking a savanna. Like it was 2 floors. So like you had like the main floor, and then you had some stairs to go up to the second floor. And like I just love like the split level like hotel rooms. Like they're so gorgeous. But they had those wall to wall or floor to ceiling windows, and it was just a spectacular view of the savanna. And I said I could stay here. And then I looked at the point chart, and I said I cannot stay here.
Would you say it was like 600 points?
Oh, it was like over 600 points for a week. I was like, oh, man, like a heart attack.
Wow. There's a design element you could put in your house, though. Have a savanna in your backyard. Get a couple giraffes back there. You'd be all set.
Yeah, that'd be wonderful.
All right. So you took the tour. You wanted to buy it, but we both know you couldn't do it. Well, I don't know you couldn't do it, but I'm just going to buy what you said.
Yeah, 600 points is a lot of money.
That's a lot of points. But hey, if you can swing it, enjoy.
Absolutely. All the power to you if you could enjoy that. But I would absolutely enjoy that if I could.
Did you go to Riviera? I remember reading something about Riviera.
Oh, yeah. So at this point, like after we're done with the tour, the lady and the gentleman there were like, you know what you should do while you're here is you should go check out other resorts while you're here. And then as a gift to you, as you're leaving the tour, they give you actually a little small print of Mickey and Minnie in front of the Riviera. If I haven't posted this picture yet on Looper Nation, I will.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, it's a nice little photo print. Like I don't know, 8.5 by 10 or 11.
Okay. Oh, good size.
Yeah, and it was free. I just got to take a tour of something I can't afford. So,
which you've already done. So let's just keep up the theme. Okay.
Yeah. So then I was like, all right, sweet, I'll take this. And then so they gave us a little card, and they said, if you want to go to the Riviera, you got to call because there's not a lot of parking there. So then they'll let you in, and then you tour, and then you can leave. So we said, all right, we're going to do that tomorrow. Well, this was Friday afternoon, and we didn't know this, but they only do tours of DVC Monday through Friday.
Oh.
Or at least the front desk. Yeah. So we called first thing in the morning, and I was like, oh, I'm like so excited. I'm going to go tour Riviera. And then, like, I tried calling, and then it's like, hours of operation are 9 to 5 or something like that. Not maybe 9 to 11. I was like, oh, man, that stinks. So I call it 9, and then it said Monday through Friday. And I was like, ooh, I was duped.
Wow.
So anyways, I decided, you know what, we're still going to go to the Polynesian first, because this was our whole plan. We're going to go to the Polynesian tour bungalow, and then we're going to go to the Riviera. We're going to tour the Riviera, and then we're going to go to lunch. That was the whole plan.
Okay, good plan.
Yeah, it was pretty good plan. So then we go to the Polynesian, and then the security guard's like, where are you going? I was like, we're here to tour a bungalow. He's like, you know where you're going? I'm like, absolutely not. He's like, well, you could go right over there, And so we're like, oh, wonderful. Little did we know, we walk into the lobby, and we're like, there's no DVC person here. That's weird. And then that's when we absolutely were certain there's no tours on Saturdays.
So property-wise, why? There's no ZVC tours on the weekends?
That's what it seemed like to me.
Because nobody vacations on the weekends.
I know. I was so surprised. I was like, why is there no one at the front desk here willing to take me on a DVC tour?
Wow.
Yeah. So maybe I was doing something wrong. Maybe it was a holiday weekend, but I'm pretty sure no tours on the weekend.
They just lost a 600-point sale.
Absolutely. They could have sold me if I got that bungalow, you know?
Exactly. You have to see it. You can't just buy it sight unseen.
Yeah, exactly.
Ugh.
So I was even more concerned how the front guard even let me in, saying that I was going to do a DVC room.
Maybe he just thought you were going to just go walk around there randomly. A self-tour, if you will.
Yeah, well, we did. We absolutely. You know, you can't go to the Polynesian and not walk around.
That's true.
I did pass on the Tonga toast this time. I had it last time. Wasn't a big fan.
Oh, really? Okay. Have you had it before, or was that just your one time then?
I just had it one time. It was too banana-y for me.
Oh, I can see that. If you're not a fan of the banana.
It's just an overwhelming flavor. You know, like you eat it and it's just, all you get is banana, in my opinion.
Gotcha. Hey, your opinion's not wrong. It might not be right, but it's not wrong. I'm kidding. So what'd you do for lunch then? You realized the DVC thing was going to be a bust.
Oh, well, before lunch happened, we went to Riviera and we tried to go there. And then the guard was like, nah, you can't do that. You got to go to Disney Springs and take a bus here, or, you know, go to one of the other resorts and take the Skyliner here. So we actually went to Disney Springs because we were going to have lunch there. And we took the bus back to the Riviera, and we actually checked out the Riviera Resort.
Were you potentially ready to buy 600 more points? And the guy tells you to turn around and go park somewhere else and skyline over.
Yep, absolutely. That's
wow.
What it makes.
So now they've lost out on 1,200 points you're going to buy.
Big sales opportunity they missed. Yeah, someone's got to talk to them about this.
Well, before we get to lunch, you toured Riviera. What'd you think of Riviera?
All right, so the Riviera, when you walk up to it, like you're looking at it and you're like, this is like a Hilton. You know, like it doesn't look fancy. It doesn't look like a Disney resort or something spectacular. And then like as you start walking up to like the main entryway, like you could start seeing a lot more like the Disney details that really make a Disney resort, right? And then as you walk into the lobby, I think that they were only like 12-foot ceilings, and they had these huge, like weird looking lighting elements hanging down from the ceilings, and that really cut the ceilings down to like maybe like 10 foot, and it just felt really cramped inside the main lobby. And like the check-in area wasn't very large. They had a gift shop to one side, and then they had a little patisserie right next to that, and then you had like these floor to ceiling again windows looking out into like the little courtyard, which the courtyard was actually immaculate. And it was very nice. They had some bocce courts out there. But overall, the feeling was just like it's small, condensed, and kind of like just thrown together, if you ask me. And like before Riviera was like online, and before I even looked at it, I was like, I want to own that Riviera. I was like, this is an awesome looking resort. Mm-hmm. And then, like, just going and experiencing it for the first time, I was like, I'm very glad I did not buy here. Not even including the resale restrictions.
Right.
That's a whole different story.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, like I was super thrilled about it, and then I was definitely glad to experience it before actually buying in there.
Very interesting. I've kind of heard the same thing about, you know, the lobby is not as grand as most other newer Disney hotels. Mm-hmm. Which, you know, in this age of social distancing might not be the best of decisions, but, you know, who knew that years ago when they were designing it?
Yeah.
And then just having a kind of like a feel, almost like a Grand Floridian, like it's fun, it's nice, but you just don't want to stay there.
Yeah. Like I could stay there maybe, but not a whole trip probably.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely a split stay. I will say the water slide looked amazing. Like that little stonework, you know, thing that they got going on. That looked. I'm a huge water slide fan. But if you want some really good Joffrey's coffee, though, you got to go to the Petit Cafe. Oh, they serve the Italian espresso is what they use for their espresso. They use the Riviera blend for their coffee, and it's so good. I got a double espresso with some special sugar, like Trema sugar or something like that, like shaken and iced. Oh, it was like the best coffee drink I ever had. People
are raving about the Joffrey's Riviera blend right now, I gotta say.
If you haven't picked up the Riviera blend, you gotta try it. It's like the single best Disney branded coffee that they have put out so far, in my personal opinion. And it's like dark blend. It's so smooth. It just hits the taste buds just right.
Oh, I'm going to place an order here pretty soon. I have one bag of Alani left that I'm going to, once I get about halfway through, it's time for me to place my next order. So you've decided You're not going to spend your money at Riviera now. You gave the tour. What'd you do for lunch?
So for lunch, we went to Frontera Cocina in Disney Springs. I'm a big Disney Springs fan. Disney Springs is a place to go for food now.
Oh, yeah.
Forget Epcot. Go to Disney Springs.
They don't have kiosks. They have actual restaurants at Disney Springs.
That's true. But Frontera Cocina, so, a lot of people, like they have like a Mexican place. You got Chipotle,
Mm-hmm.
you got your Moe's around town, but you don't have a Frontera Cocina, and that's the downside of not being a Disney, right?
True.
So it's the best Mexican meal that I've ever had, and if you haven't been, you got to try it. Everyone says you got to go, to Homecoming. Yeah, I'm saying you got to go to Frontera Cocina.
But I've heard fantastic things about that restaurant.
Oh yeah. So if you go, so here's what I got for lunch, which was probably the best thing I've ever had in my life.
Ooh.
I'm going to pronounce this so well. It's the cochita pubile, which is this marinated pork butt with beans, poblano rajas, pickled red onions, and habanero salsa. They came to the table not once, but twice to tell me that the salsa was going to be very spicy because it's obviously made with habaneros. And I said, oh, that's great. So I poured it all over my pork, and I was like, this is wonderful. It was spicy, but a good spice.
Oh, I've had those.
Yeah.
Oh.
We also had the chips and salsa. We had like the mango guac and chips. Fantastic.
Nice.
Mango and avocado. So good.
In the form of guac on a crispy chip. Forget about it.
So good. Yeah. So actually, if you go and you search for this cochita pubile, or you just go look up how to spell that online because I can't pronounce it, they actually give you a recipe for it on their website.
Really?
It's actually fantastic. Yes.
That's a great tip.
And I'm going to try it out. Probably October 10th is my plan. Why so long? It's a long story. But very excited to try this.
Oh, please let me know how it goes.
Yeah. I've never had achiote seeds or achoti, but they're in the recipe. And so is like banana leaves.
I've heard of banana leaves. So that's something.
Yeah, but it's just like a pork shoulder, lots of spices, oregano, pepper, cumin, cloves, cinnamon, garlic.
Sounds very complex, though. I mean, complex flavors, not complex to make.
Oh yeah,
Nice.
but it wouldn't disappoint if anyone ever made that. So I'll also post that when I get to it. And it's going to be amazing. I can already see it coming.
Oh, please do. Please do.
I would share it with people too.
I'll get you a mailing box. You can just send it to people.
I'll send it first class.
That's the only kind of guy you are. Okay, what did we do after lunch? What happened? What'd you do? How'd it go?
Oh, so after lunch, so we actually, when you get to Disney Springs, it was a holiday weekend, and like we were already concerned that, with COVID, everything was going to get really busy, and we wouldn't really feel that safe in Disney Springs. So we come out of lunch, going into lunch, it was dead. And then we come out, and it was so packed. We said, we don't really feel that comfortable right now, so let's just head back to the car and go back to the resort. So we did so, but before that, before you leave, you gotta get some special treats before you leave. So we stopped at the Ganachery, one of my favorite places.
How could it not be?
Yeah, I think it's better than Amorette's, in my personal.
Okay.
And I've been to Amorette's too. We also got Amorette's this trip. We got some like little chocolate thing. We got a cheesecake, but nothing's better than chocolate, in my opinion.
I'm kind of with you there. I do enjoy cheesecake, but anything with chocolate on it, winner.
Absolutely. So they actually had a homemade s'mores that they were doing as a special. And they had like this graham cracker, and then they have like this little chocolate sauce on it. And then they have a marshmallow. They toast the marshmallow right in front of you, like with one of those kitchen butane torches.
Oh, heck yeah.
Oh, yeah. And it gets all melted. And then they stick it on with that little chocolate sauce. Then they have this wafer thin piece of chocolate, and they stick it on top of it. And they torch that, and then it melts all over the side of it, like the perfectly chocolatey, melty creation over this perfect marshmallow.
Oh, yeah.
Stick another graham cracker on top. Put a little Mickey head of confectionery sugar on top. And they say, you could go pick it up over there by the s'mores window. And they make this in front of you. This isn't pre-made.
Mhm.
They say, go watch the guy make it. And then you watch it. It's like the most amazing thing you've ever seen. And then you pull it out, and then you have this perfectly created s'mores. You're like, oh.
Oh, that sounds fantastic. More food should be torched, and I found out actually going into a park once you're not allowed to carry your own torch into the parks, by the way. They will take that from you. So just a little tip from me to you, before you load up your backpack to go into the theme parks, take out all your torches.
Yeah, and as a reminder, if you're having a birthday party, you also shouldn't be bringing fireworks into any other kind of parks either, especially forests. But
well, isn't that the truth? All right, so we had our s'mores, which now I want to make here. How about Wine Bar George? I saw you went there.
Oh, yeah, we could talk about Wine Bar George. Wine Bar George was fantastic. There's just a theme here. Like the food in Disney is always very good. I'm sure there's good restaurants in Charlotte. We just moved to Charlotte, but we haven't really got a chance to explore. But fantastic restaurants in Disney. And Wine Bar George is definitely up there right next to Frontera Cochina. Like, amazing. So we actually decided when we sat down, we're going to do a wine flight today.
Ooh.
And we told our server, Brent was the best server. If you go on Brent's working, ask for Brent. We said, Brent, we'd like to do a flight of 4 white wines with our lunch today. He said, all right. He brought us each over 4 glasses. We're like, 4 glasses each. Okay, we'll take it. We're on vacation. You can't deny 4 glasses of wine each.
That's right. 4 men, 8. I see how his math worked, though.
Yeah, that's all right. Because I was not disappointed, because I said, this is what we're ordering. Could you please pick out 8 wines? I'm usually on a box wine budget.
Right.
He's like, I totally get you. I understand. I was like, wonderful. So he picks out like the 8 perfectly priced wines and brings them over and puts all the bottles in front of our table and said, this is what you got. And he explained each one of them and the reasons why he picked them. The most notable one to me, as a man from Western New York, I have been to a lot of Finger Lakes wineries.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of Western New York is known for their Rieslings.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So if you're a big Riesling fan, the ones from New York are very sweet for the most part. But the ones that we got, he poured us, was from, I think, Germany, somewhere in the European regions. And he said, this is definitely a European one. And like, you'll definitely taste it because it's going to have a very odd funk to it. So like, as you smell it, it kind of smells like leather almost.
Way to sell it.
Oh,
it's got some funk and it smells like leather.
Maybe, maybe like a childhood toy.
Okay.
Like, if you're older, like when you first open up those boxes, they kind of had that harsh smell of chemicals almost.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's probably not good for you. But
probably not.
That's what this wine smelled like.
Okay.
And you taste it, and it tastes nothing like it smells. It was the most bizarre thing I have tasted in my life, and in terms of wine. And I was like, this is fantastic, but I don't want another drink of it.
It was an experience that I enjoyed.
Yeah.
But that was it. I'm done now.
Absolutely. Sometimes you just try it once and then you're done. But so European Rieslings, I'm going to stay away from personally in the future. But we had some very fantastic wines. I don't remember all of them. But I also had I'm a big YouTube fan. I like watching all those bloggers go to the parks and stuff. And Tim Tracker is one of my favorites.
Mm-hmm.
Tim Scott Tracker. Maybe there's a correlation. Probably not.
No, probably not. But
So he's a big fan of Wine Bar George, and he said, if you go here, you got to get the Iberico pork. And I said, I've heard of Iberico ham, so
right.
I got to try Iberico pork.
Yeah, you do.
So I tried it, and then actually we got the same dish that him and his wife got when they went, and like she got the octopus salad, and my wife got the octopus salad. So we had like the same meal, and the octopus salad. I'm not a fish guy, so I tried it. It's different.
Okay.
She loved it though. Like she was like, I've never had octopus before, but for this is very good. Got a lot of olives if you like that kind of stuff.
Ooh, I do like olives.
But the Iberico pork, the potatoes that they serve with that are actually pretty good.
Were they a special kind of potato, or they just how they prepped them were good?
They were just like a Yukon potato, like sliced up, I don't know, maybe into 8, maybe 10 pieces, and like deep fried, maybe lightly fried. That's what they call it. But they come out nice and golden, like these little pieces, and it's fantastic, especially served with like the gravy sauce over the pork. This was very reasonable between the two of us and the 8 wines. They also gave us an extra sampler because he said, if you don't believe me that all European Rieslings are like this, I'm going to give you another one to taste. And then we also got a little champagne tasting because we were celebrating our anniversary or our wedding, from the same year. So, yeah, so we got a little bit of extra, and it came out to be after tip like $140 or something like that.
Oh, that's not bad.
Not bad for the way we left feeling.
Because you weren't feeling anything.
That's about right. And very happy.
No, that's not bad at all. That's a vacation type meal, though.
Absolutely.
And I was just looking it up. I know the owner of Wine Bar George was actually a trained sommelier. Where the waiters, like the guy that helped you, is he actually a sommelier as well?
I don't think he was a sommelier himself,
Mm-hmm.
but he was very knowledgeable of all the wines, and he was probably trained by George.
Right. So he's probably very knowledgeable, just not officially a sommelier, which, hey, if you know your stuff, you know your stuff.
Yeah, exactly. If you serve me the best wines that I've ever had paired with a meal, absolutely, you're fantastic. Sommelier in my book.
Nice. Oh, give us your thoughts, because you mentioned something about the lobby at Jumbo House.
Oh, yeah. So really quick, before we finish up here.
Mm-hmm.
So we took a walk from the Kidani Village over to Jumbo House, and we decided, because we were looking at the pools, and I heard the Jumbo House was kind of closed. But it's open, but only like the 5th floor. So we walk over and we check out the pool, and we're like, there's no one here. This is wonderful. So let's go swimming tomorrow. But when we walked into the lobby, we walked in and there was absolutely no one in there. It was like deserted. It was the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life.
That would be
seeing
weird.
a Disney park kind of like completely empty. It's not a park, but it's a hotel. Like, just imagine that feeling of walking into this enormous cavernous, lobby, and like there's no one in there, and you get to experience it all for yourself and just take it all in. And it was wonderful. Walking down even towards the food places, Chico and Boma's, that was also deserted. So it was very awesome to see like a lobby that was like untouched by other people, or even other people weren't around. And it's obviously very similar to the Wilderness Lodge lobby, but Wilderness Lodge is my home resort, so I have a special affinity for that. Same thing here with this lobby, the same design, and it's just great to see it with no one in it and experiencing it like nobody else really has.
Oh, that sounds crazy, just seeing everything empty like that.
It's special. So like, if you have the chance to go see Jumbo House right now, like I definitely recommend it, especially since it is open, but kind of exclusive, maybe a little hush hush. And the pool is also awesome. So,
also, before I wrap, your thoughts on the Skyliner?
Skyliner, super fun. Be careful what time you're riding it, because we rode it from Riviera to the main station, and the main station back, and the wait to go back to the Riviera was longer than the entire ride, just to get back to the main area, the station.
Any tips for anybody who wants to do a trip kind of like what you just did, if they wanted to go, this time of year?
I definitely say, if it's a holiday weekend or holidays surrounding time, I'd say stay away from Disney Springs, especially at nighttime. But definitely don't be afraid to go and enjoy yourselves. Wear your mask, try to stay away from people, and you'll definitely have a great time.
But if you do go to Wine Bar George.
Wine Bar George, Frontera Cucina. You'll have a great trip.
Calvin, thank you so much for joining us on the show. I'm really glad we did the show, a little wrap up, because it sounds like you had a great time, and your pictures on Looper Nation Live, the food just looks fantastic.
Like I said, you just got to experience all this for yourself. Thanks for having me, Tim. It was wonderful to be on another show with you, and time flies when you're doing these things.
Oh, it truly does. If anybody has a question for you, wants to ask any details, where can somebody reach out to you?
You can always find me on Looper Nation. I am Calvin Connor there too, with a K and an A. You can find me there. That's about the only place you can find me these days.
And that's plenty. Everybody can find you there. Once again, thanks for joining us, Calvin. I really appreciate it. I'm Tim Scott. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, the website, ResortLoop.com. If you're thinking of booking a trip, or you're thinking of going down, give us a look over there at ResortLoopTravel.com. We'd really appreciate it. Once again, you've been listening to The Gateway to the Magic. Calvin, Take us out.
See you, everybody.
Vacation memories will stay with you and your family for a lifetime. The Resort Loop Travel Group was created with this in mind. Our fee-free services will relieve you of the stress and confusion of finding and booking the best vacation at the best price. After booking, we will continue to monitor for ways to save you even more on your vacation. We will check for any upcoming packages and discounts to save you as many vacation dollars as possible. Resort Loop Travel Group, gateway to your magical vacation memories. Get a quote, or for more information, visit ResortLoop.com.